What does inclusion mean in education? This video explores the essential features of inclusion and how they apply to children and young people. Discover how inclusive practices can transform learning environments. Inclusion ensures every child has equal access to learning, regardless of background or ability. It involves removing barriers and valuing each child as a community member. Access, participation, belonging, and achievement are its core principles. These elements ensure that children engage meaningfully in all aspects of school life. Inclusion is about adapting the environment, not the child. Hello and welcome. LO7. Be able to support inclusion and inclusive practices in work with children and young people. This video explores what inclusion means in education and why it is so important. It looks at the key features of inclusive practice and how these can be applied to support children and young people in real learning environments. You will discover how creating inclusive approaches can help every learner feel valued, supported, and able to reach their full potential. Inclusion, integration, and segregation are often confused terms. Segregation involves teaching children separately based on needs. Integration places children in mainstream settings without adapting for their needs. Inclusion means adapting the environment so every child can participate fully. Understanding these distinctions is crucial for effective practice. Diversity, equality, and inclusion are interconnected concepts. Diversity acknowledges differences in ability, race, and more. Equality ensures fair access to opportunities based on individual needs. Equity involves adjusting support to achieve equal outcomes. Inclusion actively ensures every child is valued and can participate fully. Together, they create a supportive learning environment. Inclusive practices are everyday actions that support inclusion. They include differentiated teaching and adapted resources. Creating accessible environments and using inclusive language are also key. Flexible grouping and a representative curriculum enhance inclusion. These practices are about making thoughtful choices in every interaction. The Equality Act 2010 and SEND Code of Practice underpin inclusion. Schools must eliminate discrimination and make reasonable adjustments. The Children and Families Act strengthens rights for those with special educational needs. Human Rights Act and UNCRC support educational rights. These laws ensure inclusive practices are a legal obligation. Barriers can be physical, social, attitudinal, or cultural. They prevent children from fully engaging in school life. Barriers are usually in the environment, not the child. Schools must identify and remove these barriers. Understanding and addressing barriers is crucial for effective inclusion. Physical barriers include inaccessible buildings and classrooms. Poor lighting or acoustics can also hinder learning. Sensory environments may distress some children. Schools must ensure physical spaces are inclusive. Addressing these barriers enhances access for all students. Attitudinal barriers stem from beliefs and assumptions. Low expectations can limit a child's potential. Unconscious bias and stereotyping are harmful. Pity and exceptionalism undermine children's dignity. Challenging these attitudes is vital for fostering inclusion. Communication barriers isolate children from learning. Language difficulties are common obstacles. Hearing and visual impairments require tailored support. Literacy barriers affect comprehension and expression. Schools must address these to ensure effective communication. Social and emotional barriers impact learning. Anxiety and low self-esteem hinder participation. Friendship difficulties and bullying create exclusion. Trauma and grief also affect engagement. Schools must address these to support children's well-being. Cultural barriers arise from unrecognized identities. Religious observance and dress must be respected. Dietary needs should be included in school menus. Family structures and socioeconomic status affect participation. Schools must adapt to diverse cultural backgrounds. Identifying barriers requires observation and communication. Ask children about their challenges. Listen to families for insights on needs and history. Analyze data for patterns in participation and outcomes. Consult specialists for professional assessments. Supporting inclusion involves removing barriers. Differentiation adapts learning to individual needs. Adapting resources enhances accessibility. Inclusive language fosters a welcoming environment. Schools must actively challenge discrimination. Schools have a duty to make reasonable adjustments. This includes policy changes and auxiliary aids. Physical features should be accessible. Adjustments must be planned, not reactive. Anticipating needs is key to effective inclusion. Inclusive practice requires collaboration with specialists. SENCOs coordinate support and liaise with families. EHC plans outline individual needs and support. External specialists provide expert assessments. Parents are partners in the inclusion process. A Year 5 literacy lesson highlights inclusive responses. Leon, Farah, and Daniel face different barriers. Adaptations include differentiated tasks and resources. Collaboration with teachers ensures effective support. This case study demonstrates practical inclusive strategies. Avoid treating inclusion as a one-off event. Inclusion does not mean lowering expectations. Tokenism and over-supporting undermine genuine inclusion. Fixing the environment, not the child, is crucial. Quiet exclusion must be addressed as much as overt discrimination. This is the conclusion of the video. Inclusion is a daily commitment, not just a policy. It requires adapting environments to remove barriers. By understanding and implementing inclusive practices, schools can support every child's success. Thank you for watching. Should you have any questions, please call 074-843-61688 or email the UK Versity team for support.